So in this video, we're going to be finding the percents. In the last couple of videos, we have been working with percents and finding the different pieces of it. I have one video that we're finding the part. I have one video of finding the whole, and today we are finding the percent. So a couple questions that we might see. This first one here. 30 out of 50 is equal to what percent? All right. I love to relate this to a test. All right. A lot of students all the time, if I don't put the percentage on there and I just put 30 out of 50, they're like, well, what did I get, Mr. Capshaw? What grade was it? All right. So I always have to say, well, we're going to figure that out. So let's say that we got 30 questions right out of a total of 50 questions. I want to figure out what percentage is that out of 100%. Remember, percentages are always out of 100. So I have 50 and a 100 here for my total questions. If I got a 50 out of 50, it'd be a 100%. But I got a 30 out of 50 here. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Move it on over. Okay, so I asked myself, this is exactly like I see a ratio table, all right, which was all of outcome A1. I have my questions correct versus my total questions. I got 30 correct out of 50, which is what out of 100%? Well, I asked myself, how do I get from 50 to 100? I multiply by 2. Do that on top. 30 times 2 gives me 60. So I get a 60% if I got a 30 out of 50. All right, and please remember that you do need the percent sign. All right, there is a big difference between 60 and 60%. So let's look at a couple questions down here. If 20 out of 80 students are on the swim team, what percent of the students are on the swim team? All right, well, first off, I read this problem and I see what percent? What percent right there? So my answer needs to have a percent with it. And I also see this, 20 out of 80. Well, I already said, but percents, we have a part and a whole. All right, I want to figure out the percents. All right, so I'm going to create a ratio table just like we were before, and one of them will be my part, one of them will be the whole. 20 out of 80. All right, well, remember the parts. All right, and we explained this in class 2. All right, just as a little, the part and the whole. All right, the part will always be either less than or equal to the whole. All right, we talked about some inequalities in class today. All right, the part is always either less than the whole thing or equal to the whole thing. And the way I explained it, think about a test. All right, the part, because we don't give extra credit, the part is always less than the whole, or it could be equal to the whole if you get a 100%. Okay? So by explaining it like that, that makes this problem extremely easy. 20 is the part, 80 is the whole. I want to find the whole percentage. All right, well, percents are out of 100, so I know I need to find a 100%. Well, I ask myself, how do I get from 80 to 100? And I say, I don't know. Since I don't know, I'm going to find 10% instead. Just because I know I can get from 10 to 100. Well, 80 divided by 8 is 10. That means I need to do 20 divided by 8. And I do some long division on the side, and I end up getting 2.5. All right, so 10% is 2.5, so that means 100% multiplied by 10 is 25. Now, I cannot just leave my answer in a ratio table. This is all the work, but I need to figure out the actual answer. And it said, what percent of the students are on the swim team? The answer is going to be 25%. And I just kind of boxed that out there. Okay? And then we have another word problem right here. Jillian spent $360 on a computer. Her salary is $800 a week. What percent, all right, of her daily salary did she spend on a computer? Or her weekly salary, I should say. All right, well, I know there's going to be a part. I know there's going to be a whole. Well, The part is always less than or equal to the whole, so that means 360 is part and 800 is the whole. This time around, though, I want to get to 100%. I can actually go straight to 100 because 800 divided by 8 gives me 100. If I do that to the bottom, I have to divide by 8 on top, and I get 45. So once again, I cannot just leave my answer there, and it's actually going to be written with a percent. So it needs to be 45%.